Actually speaking, Krishna and Arjun are not separate. Arjun is the illusioned and confused mind. Krishna is the center of that mind. That is the relationship between Krishna and Arjun. Krishna is the heart of Arjun. That within you, which already knows, is Krishna.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. My name is Sumit Saxena. I'm a research scholar and in my 4th year of PhD. And it is a kind of my second inning. I was earlier a teacher. I was teaching in university, and I've left after started my PhD. And it is like the situation is since last 7-8 months, I am actually diagnosed with a condition called coccydynia, in which I am having tailbone pain. And due to this, could not sit for more than 30 minutes. So yes, but this is only a physical condition. But what I've experienced is that along with this physical condition, I'm also experiencing last few months a kind of mental stress. And that stress, I realize it is not only the case of me, but thousands of people like who are young and who want to do a lot of things, but due to their physical or intellectual limitations, they are not able to do it. So, of course, being a mature person, I know I have to engage myself positively. But so my question is just how to cope with this uncertainty. So whenever I'm doing rest or taking my routine things and all, but at the back of my mind, it's always there that I have to complete my research work. Some pending projects are there. So the thing is, when we are ill for 1 or 2 weeks, we satisfy our mind that yes, we will recover and we'll get back to work. But when it comes to 8-9 months, then it's a problem. And second question, so how to cope with this situation and how to come out with this kind of self-acceptance, we can say, for which we are not accustomed to, obviously. And second thing, at a broader level, as a society, how we can develop an ecosystem to help people like many of ours. So, because personally, when I approach the people, to my friends or relatives, all those people who are young, they are busy in their work. So hardly they can do is they can give you good, get well soon wishes and all these things. And sometimes it also feels like that they give you more of a sympathetic instead of empathetic understanding. And that again gives more negative vibes. So, and in these 7-8 months only, I have been very regular YouTuber and watching your channels, spiritual understanding, and it really helps me. I am doing meditation and all that also, but still I'm struggling. And in general, also for people like me, what you will suggest? What could be the coping strategy? What could be the roadmap? What should be the style? And how, as a society, we can evolve in this aspect? Sorry for being long.
No, it's okay. Doctors say you'll be all right in 8-9 months?
Actually, he's saying that it can take even 4-5 years. It can take someone could recover in 1 year also. The only thing he said, it is not complete disability. The only thing is you have to change your position every 20 minutes. So if I'm standing, I have to sit down after 20 minutes. Then I have to lie down and then I have to take rest. After 2 hours, I have to take rest for maybe half an hour. So of course, you can understand the pressure in IITs. I have my few research papers pending in revision, few chapters, although I have done few publications already. And this is my last year. Of course, maybe my director could extend it for 6 months on these grounds. But on a bigger picture, how to cope our mind, that what I was asking.
All right. Let's begin with a thought experiment. What if we had brains twice as large? And let's assume that the number of brain cells is directly proportional to our IQ. Let's have that general assumption.
Okay.
What would happen had we had brains twice as large? We would be able to do a lot of things in a better way, right?
Yes.
Smartly, quickly. So is it not then a disability to have these kinds of ordinary brains?
Yes.
It is. What if we had 4 hands? What if we had legs twice as strong? Is the current body itself not a disability if you compare it to an ideal? But we do not take our current situation as a disability because we think of it as normal. You will never find anybody complaining that his IQ is only 110.
Yeah, true.
Whereas theoretically, with a different kind of brain, IQ of 250 is possible. Right? But nobody says, oh, I am disabled because my IQ is only 110. Why? Because we do not nurture an imaginary ideal to compare it with. We take this as normal and therefore it does not trouble us. Now, if someone starts thinking of a 250 IQ brain all the time, then he will definitely think of himself as disabled even with 110 IQ. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you see that? If you start thinking of a model-like height as normal, 6 feet 2 inches, if that is normal, then you will definitely think of yourself as a dwarf. I hope you are not 6'2".
No, sir.
I am not, so safe.
I'm 5'9".
Good. Huh? If you start thinking of a NBA basketball player as normal, 6 feet 8, then I'm vertically disabled. Am I not?
Yes.
I'm clearly almost 1 foot shorter and therefore disabled. Are you getting it?
Sir,
So all these thoughts do not arise out of your present condition. They arise out of an imaginary comparison. It is not condition that leads to a feeling of disability. It is comparison that leads to a feeling of disability. I'm saying this because herein lies the solution as well.
Sir, but the problem is coming when we have to ask for favors. Like one of my paper was in revision. So they said you have to submit it by 25th of May. Now, as I said, I could not write fast. So I have to write a letter to editor that I am suffering from this condition and I could not submit on 25th of May. So now, how you would see these things? Like that's
It
why
has to be taken as normal. It hurts when you think of the alternative. It hurts when you think of the so-called healthy ideal. It hurts when you compare it with your past.
Okay.
When you were supposedly healthy. That's when it hurts. Just take this as normal. This is how it is, and there is no alternative. This is how it is, and there is no alternative. Just as 110 IQ is what it is, there is no alternative to raise it to 250. And if I keep thinking of 250, I'll only suffer. Similarly, you have a certain cutoff when it comes to one posture, 30 minutes. Now that's normal. That's normal. That's normal. And there is no alternative. If there is no alternative, there is no comparison. If there is no comparison, there is no suffering. It's normal. I too suffer from a chronic autoimmune thing. I don't think about it. It is normal.
And I
don't even envision a future in which I'll be completely healthy. I have no such aspirations. I have total acceptance for my state. So I don't suffer. It pains. And it greatly pains in the morning hours before I have to get up from bed. But that's normal. I know it's coming. It's as normal as the milkman, pressing the doorbell in the morning. We don't take any milk, by the way. So let's think of it as the newspaper vendor. He comes, he presses the bell. That happens early in the morning, 6 a.m. Similarly, my pain comes at 6 a.m. It's normal. Someone has pressed the bell. And it has to happen. In fact, if it doesn't happen, it will feel weird. It has to happen.
And sir, I was having one follow-up question with regard to earlier discussions. Can I ask?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Sir, like you were saying in most of your questions that collective efforts is required when it comes to like eradicating making the good institutions or eradicating corruption or making climate change and all. So, and also you said that when you are enlightened, you try to enlighten others. Like Buddha also believe in that. But in today's society, how have you ever experienced these things? Like I personally experienced, like one of my friend was driving and I asked him at the signal to please switch off your car. And he says, oh, don't worry, I have enough money and I have filled my car tank full. So, and similarly, I give you one more example. In my neighbor itself, in a colony, there is a family, they celebrate their child's birthday every month. Okay, and they say, we are very excited and
See, the problem is not that they are celebrating the child's birthday every month. The problem is there that the child took birth in the first place.
yes,
No birth, no birthday. And that's also numerically true. You see, even putting your engine to idle won't help if there are so many cars. And if you keep giving birth, you are giving birth to cars as well, are you not?
yes,
The fact is that bigger than all our climate activism is the decision not to give birth. Not to give birth. Numerically, there is data.
Yeah, sir, my question was like when you interact with these kind of people, like I was saying, so I outrightly advise him. He's a good friend of mine. I said, instead of celebrating your child's birthday every month, why don't you go and donate to some needy people? Okay. Then what happens? And similarly, like when I advise the person to
It
switch
won't
off,
happen. Please see, your advice
starts
is
saying
bound.
like this, grapes are angur khatte wali baat.
It won't happen. See, had he had that kind of wisdom,
Yeah.
to go and donate to the right people, why would he keep procreating in the first place? So your advice will fall on deaf ears.
So under this situation, how we can enlighten collectively? Like I could not enlighten my friend, my neighbor, then how we will enlighten people as well?
Join me. I'm
Oh,
doing that.
definitely.
That's the best exercise, best advice I can give. Join me. I know no other way.
Okay. My pleasure, sir. Nice interacting.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir, for sharing insights on varied topics today, starting from today's Buddha, consumerism, wage system, language on climate change, social validation. It was a highly enlightening session. A lot of our day-to-day queries got answered. We would love to hear you in person at our campus, IIT-Ropar, soon for more enlightening sessions. Thank you again for taking out your valuable time for us. We would wish to host you again soon, many more times.
I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.